All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are unpacking one of the absolute giants of science fiction, the epic saga of Dune. We're talking about a universe just packed with political drama, ancient prophecies, and a brutal, desperate struggle for power that all revolves around one single, lonely planet.
And this is it, Arrakis, also known as Dune. I mean, it looks like a whole lot of nothing, right? And mostly it is, but this incredibly harsh desert world is, believe it or not, the absolute center of the universe. It's the linchpin holding everything together, and for one very, very important reason.
And that reason is a substance called melange, but everybody just calls it the spice. You can only find it here, on Arrakis. And it does some pretty incredible things. It can literally double your lifespan, it can expand your mind, give you glimpses of the future, but here's the real kicker. It's what makes faster-than-light space travel possible. So let's be clear. No spice, no travel. No travel and the entire galactic empire collapses. Period.
So how does this empire even work? Well, it's basically this shaky three-legged stool called the galactic tripod. You've got the Padishah Emperor, who's the official ruler of, everything. Then you have the great houses, all the noble families who run their own little fiefdoms. And finally, you have the Spacing Guild, who have a total monopoly on space travel because they control the spice. And these three are always scheming against each other.
Right into this political minefield steps our guy, Duke Leto of House Atreides. He gets direct order from the Emperor. You're now in charge of Arrakis. On the surface, this looks like the promotion of a lifetime. Control the spice, control the universe. But yeah, everyone, especially the Duke, knows this isn't an honor, it's a trap.
To really get what's going on, you need to know about the central rivalry here. On one side, you have House Atreides. Think noble, honorable, they're the good guys, everyone respects. And on the other side, House Harkonnen. They're the exact opposite. Cunning, cruel, and absolutely ruthless. These two families have hated each other for generations.
And this guy, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen, he's the one pulling all the strings. He's not mad about losing Arrakis. No, this is exactly what he wanted. He has worked with the Emperor behind the scenes to engineer this entire situation just to lure his greatest enemies into a place where he can crush them for good.
Look, Duke Leto isn't stupid. He knows he's walking his family and all his people right into a buzzsaw. But what can he do? If you say no to a direct order from the Emperor, that's treason. Your house is finished. So his only real shot, his one long shot, is to go along with it and try to win over the native people of Arrakis. He calls it desert power.
But all of Leto's plans and preparations, well, they're not going to matter. Because the Baron's real masterstroke isn't a frontal assault. It's way more clever, and way more cruel. He has an agent, a traitor, buried deep inside the Atreides inner circle. Their fall isn't just planned, it's guaranteed.
And man, when it happens fast. It's all over in less than 2 weeks. The traitor, their own trusted doctor, can you believe it? He just drops the shields to their main fortress. The Harkonnen army, backed up by the Emperor's secret elite soldiers, the Sardaukar, just swarm in. Duke Leto is killed, but somehow his son Paul and his mother Jessica escape into the open desert.
And this moment, this desperate escape into the sands, is where the entire story shifts. The whole political game of chess, that's over. Now something much older, something almost mythical, starts to take shape, and it's all centered on young Paul.
Now, to get what's happening with Paul, you first have to understand his mom, Jessica. She's part of this incredibly powerful and secretive sisterhood called the Bene Gesserit. Think of them as the ultimate puppet masters of the galaxy. They've been manipulating politics and bloodlines for thousands of years, all part of their own long-term breeding program. And Jessica, against the rules, has been training her son Paul in their mysterious ways.
So what's the end game for this breeding program? They're trying to create a super being, a prophesied messiah they call the Kuzatz Haderach. Basically, a male who has all their powers and more, someone who can bridge space and time in his mind. And they think Paul, he might be it. The only problem, he showed up a whole generation early, and that makes him a total wild card.
Against all odds, Paul and Jessica survive the deep desert. And who finds them? The Fremen, the fierce native warriors of Arrakis. And here's where it gets crazy. The Bene Gesserit have been planting myths on remote planets for centuries, a kind of religious insurance policy. And guess what they planted on Arrakis? A prophecy of a savior who would come from off-world and lead them to freedom. When the Fremen see Paul and his strange abilities, they start to believe he's the one.
And Paul, he doesn't just accept this, he leans into it hard. He sheds his old identity and becomes one of them, taking the Fremen name Muad'Dib. He realizes that this is it. This is the desert power his father was talking about. He's going to forge the Fremen people into a weapon and get his revenge.
So, what's the game plan? It's genius, really. He takes his own elite Atreides military training and combines it with the Fremen's unbelievable survival skills. And yeah, I'm talking about their ability to ride the colossal, city-swallowing sandworms. Together, they become this unstoppable guerrilla force and start bringing the Harkonnens' entire spice mining operation to its knees.
And does it work? Oh boy, does it work. We're talking 50,000 Harkonnen soldiers lost in just 2 years. 50,000! Paul's Fremen aren't just an annoyance anymore. They're actually winning a war against one of the richest houses in the Empire.
And this is the moment. He stands up and claims it all. He's not just Muad'Dib, the Fremen prophet. He is Duke Paul Atreides, back to take what's his by birthright. He's uniting his people for one last push to scour the planet clean of their enemies. Okay, so Paul's war is working a little too well. He's basically got his hand on the galaxy's main artery, the flow of spice, and he's squeezing it shut. The entire empire is starting to seize up. The emperor has no choice now. He has to go to Arrakis himself and put a stop to this.
So the Emperor shows up with his whole army, all his elite legions, thinking he's about to squash this little rebellion once and for all. He thinks he's got Paul trapped. The stage is set, the final confrontation for the fate of Arrakis and the entire universe is about to kick off.
But Paul isn't playing checkers. He's playing chess. And he has a checkmate move nobody saw coming. He reveals he has the power to destroy all the spice forever. His ultimatum is brutally simple. The throne is mine, or I will destroy the foundation of your entire civilization. I'll take the whole universe down with me.
So with the whole universe held hostage, it all comes down to a knife fight. Paul versus the brutal Harkonnen heir Fade Routha. Paul wins the duel, and just like that, House Harkonnen is finished. The old emperor is deposed, and Paul marries the emperor's daughter, claiming the throne for himself. He's won.
But this is not some simple happy ever after ending. As his mother Jessica points out here, things are complicated. Paul marries for pure political power, not for his true love, the Fremen woman Chani. This quote is a huge clue that the personal cost of this victory is going to be immense and tragic for everyone involved.
And that is what we're left with. It looks like a hero's victory, right? He avenged his family, he's the new emperor. But Paul has seen the future, and he knows what he's just done. By becoming a messiah to the Fremen, he has unleashed a holy war, a fanatical crusade in his name that is going to burn across the galaxy and kill billions. So the real question is, did he just save his people, or did he become a new and maybe even worse kind of monster?